Arvind, we have seen that the government has had two sticky points. One is the chairmanship of the joint committee as well as a notification. Do you think that these 2 points are not as important and is being a big issue out of?
No, I don't think so. I think any common man today is understanding the importance of notification. If the government takes a decision, sets up a committee, it does it through a government order. There has to be an order, there has to be a piece of paper. The government says no, there will be no order. We'll just send you a letter or we'll announce in the media that the committee has been set up. This is not the way government functions. They are making a fool of us.
So looking at the protests as of now, the number of people fasting has increased to almost more than 300 people right now. What is the situation of Anna's health as well as these protesters' health as of now?
Anna is fine, and I was just going around asking for people's health. They also seem to be fine. The last night only, 11 o'clock, the doctor had come. He was checking each and every person, and I asked him after that. He said it was fine.
So what is the future course of action today? It's day 4 now. Do you think that you'll have to still talk to the government, try to find a middle path, some kind of compromise has to be reached?
Idea is not compromise. Can we compromise with corruption in our country? Is it possible? It's not about reaching a compromise with the government. It's not a fight. हम लड़ नहीं रहे हैं सरकार से. हमारी कोई दुश्मनी नहीं है सरकार से. हमें भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भारत. We want a corruption-free India, and there is no compromise on that.
There you have it, Arvind Kejriwal saying that there is no compromise in the fight against corruption. In New Delhi, Anant for NDTV. Amongst the hustle and bustle, there are a few souls who have tirelessly worked for the past 2 days to keep everything in control. Let's go have a talk with them. These are the volunteers who have been working here for the past 2 days, and although most of them are very tired, we've got them together to speak to them right now. Tell me, how long have you been working, and how motivated are you still after these 2 days?
We've been working for quite some time. I think ever since Anna wrote the first letter, and we are still very motivated, and what keeps us going is the crowd and the response, and so many people coming, and people from all spheres of life, people from all walks of life. You have students, you have disabled people, you have old, you have young, and what really motivates you is people sitting for Amar and Anshan, 178 people sitting with Anna.
It's been 2 days now. It's been a really hot 2 days now. What do you think the response has been? Is Anna, are you all very happy the response you've got as of now?
The moment we started, we were all dying that the people should gather here, that the response should come, and the response coming from people around the country is overwhelming. We have not just assumed it, it's like multifolded response. As a vis-a-vis, we just read the stories of Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and their sacrifices, but then the eagerness to work for the country in our blood, in the people around us, is just amazing.
Come summer, long and killing pre-admission queues snake around Delhi University campus. This year, students can stay home.
Earlier, a student had to fill a form much before the cutoffs were announced, and he could fill the OMR central form of the university or the forms of the colleges, and then the cutoffs would be announced. Now he doesn't have to either fill the OMR or the college forms. We've taken that away.
The new procedure will be announced shortly, and colleges will reveal cutoff lists in June.
In such a system where you only have to declare a cutoff and you have to admit everybody who is above that cutoff, there is absolutely no need for a pre-admission form. You know, every year about 4 lakh forms are printed, and it is not serving much use.
In one swipe, Delhi University has done away with red tape and made colleges announce number of seats and cut-off marks that may in the long term reduce attempts of backdoor entry. With Anant Baliga, Kulsum, NDTV.
Having been appointed Central Vigilance Commissioner of the Central Vigilance Commission,
PJ Thomas is not giving up his fight just yet. The former CVC has decided to appeal against the Supreme Court's order striking down his appointment. Thomas now wants a larger bench of the Apex Court to look at the constitutional validity of the order that removed him from the job, and he wants the government to appeal.
Aggrieved party is the Union of India, firstly. The reason being, there are so many issues touching the basic structure of the constitution.
The other grounds that PJ Thomas hopes to push are that the Supreme Court did not call anyone from the panel that appointed him, including the Prime Minister, that the court based its decision on the Parmalin case, which was 20 years old and without basis, that he was wrongly implicated in the Parmalin case, even though he carried out the Kerala Cabinet's decision. For the government, the CVC issue is an embarrassment they are hoping to put behind them. But Thomas is planning to tell the Supreme Court his case will discourage all honest officers from carrying out their duty. And the government can be assured they haven't heard the last from him. With Anant Balika, Sunetra Chaudhary for NDTV.
अगर आम आदमी को प्याज और टमाटर जैसी चीज़ ही उपलब्ध नहीं होगी सही कीमतों के ऊपर तो आपको सरकार में रहने का क्या हक है फिर और आम आदमी की सरकार कैसे कहते हैं आप अपने आप को
If rising tomato prices have outraged consumers, miles away farmers are no less angry. The harsh winter this time has ruined nearly 50% of the tomato crops across North India.
व्यापारी लोगों तो बढ़िया भाव मिले थे और मान 15-16 रुपए किलो मिल रही है और आप काले दाव पड़ गो दावा इचर पेड़ सारा ही गया देश ज्यादा.
After onions, it's the soaring prices of tomatoes that have consumers crying foul. But ironically, on the ground here, tomato farmers say much of their crops have been destroyed by the severe cold wave this time, and they are hardly making any profits. Tomato farmers in rural Rajasthan say the cold wave has spelled doom for their crop. While retailers sell their produce at 50 to 60 rupees a kilo, they get barely 15 rupees for a kilo of tomatoes. Experts say too many middlemen is just one problem. Harsh weather conditions also ruin this perishable veggie easily, forcing farmers to distress sales. With Anant Balika in Delhi, in Bassi, Rajan Mahan for NDTV.